I have 6:01, Tammy. Call the meeting to order. And I do want to start by, I think I took your copy, I'm sorry. I do want to start by going back to this page, the page of the budgets that we were writing on last time. And go back to, I believe it is BCA expenses. Correct me if I'm wrong, Maria. Where Kathy said we're going to have a couple more elections than we had thought we had. She said, I think 3 elections that we'll need to count votes for.
We've got state elections in November, so.
Right, we have our state elections in primaries, did she say?
Yeah.
So,
I forgot about those, yeah.
the BCA expenses for one were, well, it'll be very similar to year 2020, where we have almost $1,200. She thought that upping that by 1,000 would cover us. So changing that from 500 to 1,500.
Okay.
I know Terry's not here, but that I think would be, I mean,
I had forgotten about the primaries.
as did I.
I'll
And I-
make a motion that we move that to 1,500.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know if it requires a motion, because
Whatever.
we haven't voted on the budget yet, we're just setting items. I just wanted,
We need to have that correct though to calculate the percentage for the budget, right?
Yep.
right,
Yes, we do.
right. The other thing I was curious about, okay, that's wage percentage. We did not have wages in here, correct?
No,
No.
Terry said we couldn't discuss those yet.
Okay, yep, that's right there, it's at the bottom. Okay,
Yeah, that's why social security.
yep.
I did look into the insurance.
Yep.
So the reason why that looks different, so I guess we pay in December for the upcoming year normally. But they changed it to paying quarterly now.
Okay,
So that's why.
so we
in
have,
your 5-year, only goes like 3,000 and something. But the total is gonna be, like the remainder of what we owe is $21,296.50.
spread out quarterly,
Yeah, spread out.
Okay. which makes sense.
So another change.
Yep, where are we at?
Maria,
Which I
page 1, all the way down,
Okay.
park loan, interest and principal.
Yes.
Maria checked on that for me and found that we are done with that. Let's pay that.
It is, so we can remove both of those line items from the budget. Excellent.
Josh, the Memorial Day Fund,
Yep,
that includes the flags for the city.
it does.
So that's 235.87, she said off the top of that, and she thinks it included the $75, or she thinks of with the one in the park was $75, so.
Okay.
It's gonna be about $300 off that 5. You know, leaving.
The 6 that we had voted to put in there. Okay.
Because the flags on poles,
Right,
that's not included in that.
so you're saying it's $300 and something for the extra.
For what they usually do, little flags and, she thinks the big flag might be on that.
Okay, gravestone marker flags.
Right.
Okay, now I'm on the same page as you. I was like, well, yeah, that's what we put it in for.
Little flags.
The little flags, okay.
She
And
said
you're
both.
saying, and you were figuring about $600 to replace all the flags on Main
I'm not
Street.
sure, you know, I was thinking, that was a good number. It might not be that high,
Okay,
but,
Do you
I'll
think-
bump it a little bit.
do you think if we put that up to 750 instead of 600, that would cover? Okay, I'm okay with that. I don't think it's a
She
big
said those-
increase, but,
The gravestone markers do come from Legion.
and maybe we could check with the Legion on the Main Street flags, maybe we'll get a deal. So Memorial Day will increase from 600 to 750. Any others while we're looking. I just got a text message that they have canceled school tomorrow.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, I did the research and stuff with the wind chills and the weather we're supposed to get tomorrow. Student standing outside for 10 minutes could be in danger of frostbite.
Yep. 35 below wind chills tomorrow.
That's if they don't read.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Maria, that's the correct number for this year's budget was 73,814. I didn't look it up. We were discussing numbers, but none of us actually looked it up by the contract.
No, I don't know that. You said
It's going to be close to that.
Okay.
It's probably a little bit more, but not much. You might want to, I'm sorry, I don't have a copy of the contract. I had looked. There's one filed here in town hall somewhere. Could you look that up for us, please, Sam? Copy of the fire department, the Bakersfield Volunteer Fire Department contract.
She probably put her hands on it.
We should be on the last year of that contract. If I remember correctly, that's why we're going through this, yeah.
All right. I did talk with the head of the schools stuff. They're curious if
No, this is the new one.
This is the new one.
if
Yeah.
we can
Which one do you
connect
The
with
last, we
other
finished up on
local
that.
schools
Yeah, this is
um,
one. Actually, this
and
is
see
it.
if it would help on the
That's
generator
83 is
contract.
10,000 more.
Because Sheldon
No, we're
has,
voting on 22.
Sheldon
Yeah.
has the same,
We're voting on
same.
We're on the last year of
generator
the last
that we do
contract.
You want the last one?
Yes, please.
For the
This
school,
is the
which is
next
all
one.
also their emergency building.
Just,
Touch
Just-
base with the Bakersfield or the SU Buildings and Grounds Director
mhm.
about, Sheldon has the same generator we do.
Yeah,
Munisburg has the same generator we do.
yeah, they were all given by FEMA grants.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, when I was talking with him, it was a Sheldon Select Board member, myself and him at a meeting. And, he asked what we usually do as a town. And I said, we take care of the, maintenance.
Yeah.
Their responsibility is the fuel.
Yeah.
He didn't know that. And the guy from the select board member from Sheldon goes, can we get that same deal? And they on the spot were like, yes. They were like, we should make that a blanket contract with every town
Uh-huh.
and speak with the people that are in charge of the maintenance on the equipment about getting a blanket contract for all.
In
of the-
all three
all the
cases, the
generators.
primary beneficiaries is the school.
Absolutely. So if we can touch base with Milton Cat and maybe see if they would look at the other school systems.
Yeah, that was last year.
What's that?
Is that
22.
what you want to know?
Well,
No,
it would
because it
be
goes
Where's that
up
come under?
every year.
generator.
There was a contract that was just
It
like the
might have
other
been
one.
taken
that
off
had
because
listed out
we-
for
$100.
5 years, I believe.
Okay.
The
What the-
2020 being the
Because
last
what we were
year.
doing was
With
looking
2020 being the
into
last
a,
year, yes.
And that's not this?
No, it is not.
service
This is,
contract.
2021?
And what their that conversation
this was the
is if
special
we could get a
agreement.
service
They allowed
contract
us to
with
make a
all
late
the-
payment.
all the
So they allowed
schools
us to
that
make
have
a
the same
payment,
generator.
the last payment
Maybe
for
they'll do it cheaper.
2020,
Maybe
in,
easier to get somebody to come and do it.
January
Oh,
of
it puts them on a
2021.
regular rotation.
Yeah.
So
So
what would
this
those
is
two
actually-
payments be, the 2020? Or no?
These two payments are for the 2020
That was just-
Bakersfield
it popped
Volunteer
into my
Fire
head, and if I
Department
didn't say it,
contract.
I'd know we'd be in
In the
trouble.
last year,
No.
the previous contract.
No,
There's Terry.
2021
The
is,
first one.
2021 is the last year of the previous contract.
Okay.
So we've got 1 year left.
Sheldon, you said your cat in Enosburg, correct? And I think all the schools do. Lance seems to think they were all purchased at the same time by a FEMA grant.
Yeah.
No, I think we did our own farm. We had cattle.
Yeah, so we may be able to get Berkshire. The only one they were unsure about is Richford. Because Richford, yeah, it would be a town thing where all the towns have one service contract for all their machines.
How you doing?
Like I said, Sheldon is on board.
It's gonna be worse tomorrow.
The second one is from last week. Like what we actually budgeted.
Okay, that's that.
This is, is it.
Are you
I don't
explaining?
think that we didn't know about the primaries. And we talked about the state elections, but anyway, it's gonna be closer to 1,500.
Oh,
Okay. Memorial Day expenses for the flags is gonna be a little bit more, 750.
okay, that's not too bad.
We'll recoup some of it here. The part is actually paid off this year, so there's, you can cross those right off.
Both of them?
Yep, interest and principal. I think that's it.
What was it, the flag, you said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Memorial Day.
We're going 750 with it.
Yep.
Yeah, that number we had carried did not include, we do purchase the little flags for the gravestones.
Oh, we did.
And that was about $300.
We're
Okay.
trying to pin down an exact number for this.
Yeah.
That's the last year. of
Tammy,
the Previous contract.
do we have an extra pen out there any
That doesn't
chance?
start till 23.
Yes,
We
please.
still get the last year of the previous contract.
Never mind. Got one, thank you.
It's gonna be close to that. It's gonna be a little bit more, but not. Huge.
Disinfect pen.
Is it tomorrow
But-
that Larry and them are meeting us?
Yep.
meeting with us?
That was the plan.
Tomorrow,
I haven't
right?
seen I haven't seen the agenda. I didn't look at it.
But
It was sent to us. I don't know if they're on there or not. That's the only thing I'm saying.
you
I think
do,
it was on there.
yeah, it was. You guys do realize that next year, the fire department expense will be 10,000 more.
2023.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so that covers all the changes for the items we've gone over thus far on the general budget.
Tammy,
No, I take that back.
don't worry about it for now. You got your minutes you have to take care of. So I didn't mean for you to spend a long time on it. I
In
apologize.
there. I think these might be.
That is it. And we have the correct number there. It is the right number. I just felt we needed to check on that, that's all.
The big number.
Yeah,
What's on this?
Not much. A little bit of discussion about Mac looking into a district-wide service agreement for all the generators, which would include, because they're all located at schools. And seeing if we can work with all the towns in our district to get a cheaper or more reliable service agreement if they have more to service.
How do the other towns?
That was
other
what brought that
towns-
up. I
other-
was,
Other towns servicing it, or is the school district?
so that's what brought it up, is I had a meeting. Morgan was at the building the other day, and the new building and grounds director, I forget his name, but, and that was what they had said. They asked how we did it, because they didn't know, and I said, we pay for the service contract, you're in charge of fuels. And they're like, oh, that makes sense. There was also a select board member from Sheldon that was there. He goes, can we get that same deal? On the spot, they said, absolutely. So because Sheldon's doing the same thing we are, building their budget right now. So, they told him absolutely, and he recommended, the member from Sheldon recommended that we work together to get a cheaper service agreement for ours. And, Morgan and, again, I forget the other guy's name, said that they were gonna recommend the other towns try to all get on one service agreement. Then we know everything's being serviced at the same time by the same people. Should help. We are signing warrants tonight.
Would we do it through school budget or our budget?
Our budget would be the service agreement.
We still would.
Yeah.
good time to bring something up.
Okay.
I just confused myself.
No way.
All right, we're working on fiscal year 2022.
Correct.
The fire department's working on fiscal 2023.
Could you put that in plain English for me, please?
We're a year behind or a year ahead?
We are paying out of our fiscal 2022 budget for the fire department's fiscal year 2023. This contract is written by the fire department.
So are they figuring, so we need to budget
That's
for
why
our
this-
2022, what they budgeted for 2023?
Right. That's
Okay.
why this number down there is right for 2022. That's what we paid
That was
last
last
year.
year's budget.
That's last year's. So we are actually starting the new contract in our budget because it is there to 2023,
Okay, so what's the new number?
83,000 and change.
There's-
So 10 grand more, right?
There's a hike.
Am I correct?
That sounds right.
Am I looking at this
Well,
right?
it must be, because this is, this is the end of this contract.
Yep. But it says their fiscal year, the fire,
Right.
fire contract,
Why would we
2022,
have it
that's
if it
for
wasn't
them.
next
And that's.
Or-
Why would we already have it if it's for, for next year? Didn't she pull it out, these if it's for next year?
Yeah,
For
sorry,
the,
that's on.
yeah, for the
Yeah.
next 5 years, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
that's-
sense to me.
That's not,
That's.
So the number we need is 83,000 and some change.
83 and change, yes. And
And
that's why that number was correct to what we, yeah.
Okay, well, that's better to catch it now than in March when one of the fire department.
Well, this
members
is why
stands
I'd like
up.
to get everybody on the same god darn fiscal year instead of playing this.
Wouldn't that be?
Here we are, we're already into it and we're only, yeah, never mind. Yeah.
All right, so
I'll get that number.
if anybody else, yeah, if it pops up anywhere else or any of this other stuff pops up, we can go back to it, but we can start working on the road budget. Correct? So that kind of puts Mac on the forefront here. Mac, winter work,
this isn't a.
how did it work? How did it go? The 170,000 that we voted in for last year. This is it. Let's say I thought I had it. So as of right now, all expenses, that's a grand total.
Yeah, I didn't.
We voted in 300,000 and it looks like we have spent 397 basically. That includes, yeah, that's everything. That's, yeah. We voted in last year for winter work and dirt work, 300,000. And we spent, this isn't spent, this total expenses come to 396,846.56. But that includes everything, including FEMA and some other stuff that is,
Yes, I did still get that, because mine's not a pen. So
it should be.
It was listed in
part-time,
the
what's this?
town
What
report.
is this?
Eighty-three.
Repair funds in there too, Josh? That would have its own separate.
Yeah, it does, I keep track of it separate.
Equipment
Full timers for
gas.
the
It has
trees,
separate
probably.
account,
It's the only
but
time
when you
it's
go
for the
look at
lights.
the,
Well,
town
shouldn't
report,
that be
it's all in one.
approved before it's spent?
That's why I got all these on.
For what?
The timers for the park,
Yeah, I would think so, but. for
How much
the-
were they?
Yeah,
143.
I'm not gonna. quibble over that.
It's
Forget
not
that 814.
quibbling over it, it's just, it
I
should
know,
be
I agree.
approved prior
We
to,
need to talk to
what,
8314.
83, 814?
Yep. So you got
What'd you
that?
say?
83,814.
Yep.
So did Kathy talk to you about the clothing allotment thing, when to charge that by?
Yeah.
Cause, yeah. Okay, I heard about,
Came in this week for March.
yeah,
which, I should have
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's the same money, but to the,
It shows on the books.
right, it shows on the wrong year, so. All right, well, let's break this one down just like we did the other one, I guess. Skipping over wages. I think we're gonna have to warrant that as a executive meeting where only interested parties, i.e. Mac, Dan, and Mark would
What's
be
that?
wages.
Wages.
I would think we talked about it first. And then invite them on.
Well, right, but they would be the only ones.
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
And we could actually, could we do that at
Or
the end
vice
tonight or
versa.
no?
Depends on how time we go.
Yeah, I agree. All
I
right,
think we'd want to vote first.
No, that's what I mean. It'd be vice versa. They
Okay.
come talk to us first and then. we discuss it.
so equipment expenses, is that the repair fund? Or is that,
No, so if you guys look at, all the ones that are highlighted in gray, like have gray highlights, are all part of the equipment. repair fund.
okay, perfect. So our equipment repair.
Oh,
fund-
so it's trucks listed individually, loader. Okay,
I just took
yep,
it straight from the town report.
yeah.
No, that's fine, we just. You can probably do this quicker. What's the total on just the equipment repair fund?
Oh, I have a spreadsheet.
Well, I was gonna do it on a calculator on my phone, so you know.
So everything in gray you said goes under equipment.
Yep.
Correct.
Just got it right down here. Bottom line, Josh.
So
Just
total
gotta
is
fill in the-
28,239.38.
Say again, sorry.
28,239.38 cents. And that also includes like, I think 3,157.02 was to pay part of the TAM loan. Part of that thing.
Okay,
So how much do we have left over in that? That's 19.
we
How much
agreed
did
to
we
put
have
that,
left over in
In,
the
Well, we
equipment
had
repair fund?
35
Yeah,
in
we-
it,
30.
right?
30.
Thought we raised
No.
it to 35.
I think we went
Did
to
we raise it
35.
35? Okay, I stand corrected. So what's the balance?
so the balance
Present.
is $9,399.38.
So 35 minus that is what we're gonna try and maintain in the equipment repair fund.
9,399.
99.38.
Basically, we're asking for $25,000.
Yep. Which is up a little from last year.
Yeah, 19,000 last year.
Yeah,
What are you looking at?
We're kind of looking all over the place, so these highlighted ones here. And so all the gray highlighted ones go into the
Is that
equipment
because-
repair.
of one of the truck payments.
No, truck payments
No,
are
that's
separate.
I can tell you what that includes.
Okay.
It includes the loader, the grader.
No, I mean, what, 'cause last year we only need to put 25 in. right?
We only put 19.
I mean, only put 19 in.
19 in, yeah.
This
So
year we haven't put 25.
can I
wondered
ask,
where
Looks
we
like the worst offender
little high
was
up.
truck two, $5,000.
can I ask why the screener expense is not part of our equipment repair fund?
It is, it should be. Did I not? I forget to-
It's not highlighted.
Oops. It should be. It is.
It,
part of it.
is that in that total though?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure, because just looking through here real quick, I was like, holy crap, if we could add another $3,000 to that.
And that was a
What was
repair.
that?
The screener
That's up in
Yeah,
the
was
gravel.
that a
up in the
repair?
pit separates our stone from our sand.
And like a lot of the other equipment we have, it's older than dirt.
It's dated.
Sometimes it goes by and you don't have to put hardly anything into it. Other years, this year you put $3,000 into it, 3,800 actually.
So with that being said, I think that sets one of our numbers pretty quick and pretty easy. Our equipment repair fund, we're gonna be looking for $25,600.47. I don't know, it's not 47, it's
Mine's the-
It would be the balance to bring that up to 35, correct?
25.
So it's 25.6. I forgot the other number, so
Yeah,
basically.
25,600 and change. But
Maybe 25, about 25,000.
$25,600. That's 38, so 62 cents. No, I
Think it
just,
matters.
I think the ideal thing would be just to bring it to 35,000.
Mhm.
So I mean,
That's what we agreed on
Right.
last year.
okay, so that gets that one out of the way. Clothing allotment. So we'll go right back to, oh, I'm sorry. Started
On the other page.
on the other page. So equipment expenses is covered. Equipment earnings
As much
is,
as I hate to ask this, on the
Yep.
equipment fund,
equipment
are
fund,
we thinking or not thinking of getting a smaller truck?
I'm sorry, where, are you in something or are you on something
No,
outside?
I'm just asking.
Oh, you're talking, oh, so you're looking here on this page, okay. We had discussed it,
She doesn't have one.
would it be,
Are we good with just what we're doing?
well,
No, I think we do the truck in the back. Who would really back?
I think I agree with Gary that there are other things that we need first before we get a pickup truck or a one-ton, whatever we decide for light work.
Right now.
If that's agreeable with the,
I mean, you're only spending, you spend $1,100 on mileage, you can't put gas in.
no, if you guys are willing to use your own truck and we're spending that little on mileage,
is that what our mileage was? I just didn't look, sorry.
Why just sit on the-
Yep, no,
Crazy that's not happening.
so yeah, just shy of $1,200. I mean,
Even if it's 2,000, you can't, by the time you put insurance, pay for the truck, gas, oil changes, you aren't gonna do it.
no, I mean, just putting a plow and a sander on the thing is gonna cost you 15 grand.
Right,
Yeah.
But like Gary said, you better
Yeah.
off buying a piece of equipment that would, just like a mobile, like backhoe or,
Use and not rent.
something we use basically all the time.
and it's an outside possibility. I'm not gonna promise things, but there may be funds that we can use from the FEMA payments that could go towards such a piece of equipment.
You mean where we'll have more coming in than necessarily went out?
Well, the thing is, Josh, we've already expensed a lot of the gravel and stuff the town's already paid
Oh,
for.
okay, right,
So if we take that money and instead of putting it back in the road funds, because the road funds are okay, we've kept up with it, managed to.
mhm,
What if we take that money and instead invest it in a piece of equipment?
okay,
And also, there is the possibility of there being some surplus funds. If expenses come in a little bit lower, we would have to spend it on, there are certain things that we could spend it on. Equipment for the town is one of them. Yeah,
so I guess, Mac, that would be
So 35 is fine.
35 for that, yeah, because the actual equipment fund, we've only voted 15,000 into it. You have this one, Gary?
So what, sorry?
Do you have this one, this paper?
no, she doesn't. Let me,
Okay, you want one that's not scribbled on?
I make a copy.
This one's
Yes,
clean.
please. Because we do actually have an equipment fund that we've been putting money into for, do you need another one?
Yeah, Maria, make two, please.
Oh,
Three.
this is where I'm getting screwed up. This is the equipment repair. That's the word I'm missing here.
yeah, the one that we put 25,000
Yeah,
into, that's
okay,
equipment repair.
Repair.
Yep.
And then equipment fund. okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So equipment earnings, that was when we would what, hire out the,
No, that's what you used to pay the equipment at the end of the year.
oh, okay, and we don't do that anymore. Haven't, doesn't look like we've done it for the past 3 years.
Thank
Here's
you.
the other half line, that's what-
Okay, thank you.
it was like just-
Gary, you want one?
I'll do a repair fund a little bit, and, yeah, I'll do a repair fund.
Is that something we should scratch out? Equipment earnings. I'm on this page here. And I'm down in this section. And under expenses, it's the second line.
Equipment earnings.
No, equipment earnings.
All right.
Can we
I would say
scratch
yeah, I
that?
would say, yeah.
Okay,
That's, it's more or less instead of billing the earnings, you just have repair fund, everything. We had just that little bit this year that started off with, I think, that 1162, which was before we started putting anything into repairs, you know, for, it was 2 or 3 months there. before we
Okay.
Changed it.
okay. So we're good to scratch equipment earnings right off the budget
well, that's,
because it doesn't exist anymore.
okay.
We haven't done it.
3. Telephone seems to have increased dramatically.
Is that due to,
Danny making private phone calls from the shop.
This is one
That,
that,
does that include cellular phone services, or is it all just landline, or is it cellular? as
Oh,
well?
correct. That's so that doesn't include your pagers. That would make sense.
the pager's not through consolidated?
Right, but that doesn't say consolidated, it just says telephones. I don't see,
There's not a separate pagers.
Is there on a general budget?
No.
that would be road for sure, because it's only the road
Is
crew
that
that has.
under telephone, the pager?
I think that got paid out of general expenses last year.
It did.
I do think that's correct.
I've never seen anything coded to.
It wasn't a huge expense.
It was a one-time fee, I think of, well, that's why this made me think it was this. Yeah, which made me think it was $150, sounded about right. So I don't know if maybe it got coded, I don't know. Well,
Oh,
if,
wait, I do have it, $597.60.
okay, it wasn't 150 for the year, that's where it was, okay.
So you're gonna add that to,
I think we need to add that line item.
Okay,
to- Yes, add pagers to,
Pager, isn't it just?
no,
oh,
there's 3.
that's right, they
Yeah,
three
all,
got
all the boys got them, that's good. We'll add that to the road crew. And
expenses, yeah.
if we assume that goes up, probably looking at what? You said 650 or 680?
I think under expenses, he's just.
$597.60.
597.60. If we put 750 in there to cover,
It
that's
should-
almost 6.
Should be the same price, right?
Well,
Was that a full year? you
It's
got
a
on?
flat rate,
that was a
right?
full year.
It's
We paid the
not-
whole
It's a flat
thing in
rate
one.
for the year, but you know, how many things stay at the same rate every year?
If each one of them went up $20, you're looking at 650.
Yeah.
Almost 660, really. I mean, we're just shy of 600. Put 750 in there, that covers
Was-
it.
What was our contract for? Just 1 year?
I think we did just a
Yes.
year contract. We can look into a longer contract. I mean, if we're gonna, it seems to have the coverage that we needed.
Well, for
Yeah.
starters, we gotta decide whether, is everyone satisfied with it? That was why we went with just a year contract.
It'd be
Because we
great.
wanted to review at the end of the year,
Yeah,
whether or not it was worth it.
it'd be great if we could get people to call that number instead of our numbers, but
After that, they're not full months story, other than that.
but helpful stuff, like something you wouldn't have known about unless you had got the pager call.
So we have to keep track of them.
That's, to me, that makes it worth it. You know, if one person is satisfied because they can get a hold of Mac and Mac can get out and get the road clear in a timely fashion, what's What's
it's
500
my
bucks?
house, but it works good with Dan and Mark, especially like if they're up in the woods hunting or something.
Yep.
I mean,
So you page them more often than you get paged more
I
than,
would,
yep.
they seem to know when,
They,
you know, my
they-
first call is to their house.
they can smell you thinking. Yeah.
They usually answer the phone real quick.
Yeah, when I called Mark at home that night, he was, well, I started leaving a message, but that's just because he didn't want to talk to me.
Everybody screens their calls.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, most people in this business sit by the phone.
So what would be, are you okay with 750 on the pager budget? We don't spend it, we don't spend it.
Plus, I don't know if that was it a full year since we didn't start until?
I'll tell you when it's paid.
I think, well, I think it would,
Paid in March.
yeah. So that would have been pretty close to a full year.
I think that was one of the first things that I worked on with you.
I mean, even if it was prorated, I mean, your 750 would cover those 3 months. Okay, so it's a rolling contract. Okay.
Mac, do you think if we advertised it a little better, or got it out to people as a pager number, if, instead of calling down to the garage?
Or calling my house or Terry's house or Denton's house or,
9 out of 10 times they'll call my house.
Actually, the phone hasn't been too bad lately.
it's because they've been doing a good job.
I know.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
I'd
say
say
that,
something.
I was gonna say that the other day, but, I only travel, well, I travel your roads quite a bit the other day because we did the bouncing between Brandon's pump houses. Bakersfield roads were in better shape than the other roads I traveled that day, and there was quite a few of them, so.
Hey,
750
it's
in the
first time
pager.
I haven't been able to notice the difference between Enosburg and Bakersfield on Boston Post.
Yep, 750 on the pager. Moving on to telephones, we've gone up to 880. Do we want to? We don't know why
Is
we
it
went up
increased
150.
because of the,
It's $150. It's gone up.
But it's
That's,
down from 19, 18, and 17. if I'm looking right.
you're not,
Am I looking right?
no,
No, they're on the wrong line item.
Oh.
it's,
it's
It's-
up,
Oh,
yeah, it's up
quite a bit.
$150 and it's been 700 right along. Have you had to make a bunch of FEMA calls from down there?
you can't make a long
Use our own
call.
phone. We'll use our own
I
phones.
have to either come up here or go use my phone.
Okay,
so this is
Yeah,
all
paper long
just
distance
local
and-
calling?
That's just to have phone. job.
Most phone plans, you
Well,
don't
that-
pay long distance anymore.
No, there's no caller ID, there's.
do we need a phone down there? We've got a pager.
If you don't have a phone down there, I would suggest putting the internet down there, so you can use cell phone. I was gonna ask you about that anyway, because you said it was $200 for here.
Yep,
I mean. Probably not that much up there, it's parking lot around my house, look for weather to see when it's gonna snow and stop snowing, when we go to work. So I mean,
I think I'm here, instead of my house.
that being said then, with the phone at 880, do we want to put $1,000 in there with the intent to put,
did that, would be Comcast, I wouldn't,
it would be,
Yes.
which is, but
which for what you're
Well,
doing is plenty,
Comcast, you can do phone and
that's
internet.
true.
right?
I
Might-
switched to them.
Might be
because it was
cheaper
so
to do a
much
bundle.
cheaper.
You're gonna look into it?
I'd take as a former telecom person.
Okay.
I'd look at that, because
right.
I've also had questions on, why do we have a consolidated bill?
I was gonna say.
I have
What are they
Comcast
not
for
covering? Are there
internet,
alarm
phone.
circuits that are on there? All sorts of things. And I don't know if we have any of those. so.
Seems like a scatterbrain group tonight.
Yeah, let's focus on it.
Okay, so
140.
Brenda is gonna look into that and see where we can get the best rate and get both phone and internet.
I use
And
that 888 as my baseline and see if we can go from there. but-
I think I'd drop back to like this
Because
750.
the reason we couldn't
There's
do
something.
this building, because I looked into
There's an
it
issue there.
to switch
Yeah.
Why did that jump?
Comcast for here.
Well,
Yes, but the phone was something else.
Yeah, I know. Okay,
750.
Brenda's gonna look into it and get back to you. All right,
Right, but
Put a
very,
pin in that
I've
one,
never had
so to speak.
interruption, only when the power's gone out and then you
We're talking
can't be here
about,
anyway.
we're talking about 0.5%,
right,
Really?
right.
maybe less.
Wow.
So,
No, I've had them. I've only had one power outage because the power was out.
so Brenda's gonna look into that and get us a price. I need a hammer.
10-4.
That was consolidated.
Electricity. Sorry.
Went up 13%.
It went up 4% or it's going up
It went
4%?
up 13% between 20 and 21.
And Terry is expecting it to go up 4% hard.
We're gonna be going for a rate increase.
Awesome. Put more solar panels on my damn house. So 4% of 1,500,
So far. 1584, $1,600.
okay. So if we raise that up to 1,650, are we good? Okay, 1,650 it is. Next one, heating fuel, not going down, folks.
What did we figure we went up for?
I think that was still in question.
What did you get?
They charge me, instead of 287, they charge me 277, and since I paid it within 15 days, it dropped to 267.
Terry was looking into heating fuel
She never emailed me our
usage.
usage,
Okay,
but she said we were at bulk rate.
we're at bulk rate.
We already
And
are. Okay.
we're like 29 cents above the Canadian something.
So it's probably like $3.49. Didn't you say you were paying $3?
No, it went down, my actual bill,
He said
I just paid it today, it's 277.
$2.60, so you're probably looking at $2.49. Yeah.
He paid $267.
So for a bulk rate though, you're probably looking at closer to $2.50. Okay,
Let's see.
How many gallons we use?
well,
Shop.
Last year's price, I'm sorry, was
awesome, $1.77.
$1.80, call it.
Yeah,
$2, that's right.
they're
So we
expecting
got
3
24.35
for bulk, I would expect.
divided by 1.8 equal. That didn't work out right.
273, 2738,
276 we paid.
276 was our last bill. Oh geez,
For
you tell him our bulk rate's gone to hell because he's getting it cheaper over here.
267.
So I paid,
Number
but you have to pay
8.
within 15 days, you get a 3 cents off.
It's 3,600, Josh.
Yeah,
That's at a rate, we know it's gonna go up higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you were saying $3.
Yeah.
You said last meeting.
Okay,
And that's the safety net, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, because I know it's gonna be next September.
Could stay where it is, could go up and balance out.
Yeah.
So if we take the average of
Number 2 is
I've already,
the-
it's $4,000, 4,058.
241.
That's what I've been doing while everybody's
Okay.
off on a tangent.
So
We're paying about
So
240.
the diesel is LSD, 284.
Those 241s are going through.
But as
241?
we pointed out, this is not
278.
going to stay at this rate, it's gonna increase.
so
Depending on the day.
we have 27, our number right now is $2,738.
276.
Lance has proposed a number or a budget number of $4,000 to cover the increase to $3 a gallon.
That's for heating.
That is for heating fuel. Yep. Anybody have any qualms with that? Great.
And if we have some left over, we'll carry it back to
Streetlights
next year.
have been $153 basically for the past 5 years. We put 175 in there. Covers the 4% increase that Terry's charging us.
It's probably gonna stay right at the 153.
Well, if we put 175 in there, we'll have an extra $20. Could buy Mac a pair of boots, who knows?
To buy us a
Water for it's gonna stay the same at 360.
This is for the garage.
This is for the garage.
That must be
That's
more station.
bulk. Yeah, that's bulk.
North and south.
Hmm.
Okay. Social Security, Medicare is completed off of wages. Health insurance is off
Did
of
everything on health insurance?
Didn't we just get something on health insurance? Ken?
Oh,
I thought it was going up and going down.
went down just a little bit.
Oh, it's going down. Yeah, I know it said something, yeah.
Okay. Well, cause usually they'll send you,
Yeah, they sent that.
So that's a set fee though, right? We don't have a,
oh, okay,
okay, so that was set.
cause usually they'll send and let you know that it's open and running.
Disability
But
is
we
also
still
a
need
set fee.
We still need to throw a number in there.
Right, she's gonna look at it.
What did you say,
Disability, I
Josh?
think, is set.
So Social Security,
Social Security,
Medicaid is off of wages. Health insurance is set by the company. Disability is set off of the, disability expenses is set off of our, people here. Okay. Well, again, that's not a number we have. That's something
Yeah.
Maria, I'll have to look up. Simple IRA, town share is again set.
And I can figure that out. too.
And you'll
It's
s-
gonna change it.
Okay, so this is all stuff that'll be in the document for next Tuesday. Is it next Tuesday? I think it's next Tuesday.
Budget meeting?
It's Wednesday? Oh, yes,
Yeah, 19th, 4 to 6,
I believe you. And then the 24th is
regular select board meeting.
excellent. Clothing allotment. So I'm assuming that, how much is it per person, Mac? 500 per person, so 1,500, and the rest of that will come out when you submit the bill.
I don't know, Bill, I didn't get there, so I just didn't.
Oh, okay,
I will next. Yeah, with everything else going on.
okay,
1,500.
1,500. Mileage, we're down significantly this year, Mac. I like that. That's, okay.
So
Should
the
we-
clothing allotment,
Yep,
were you just saying that it has to be used by a certain date or no?
Well, it's for the fiscal year 20. This will be for 2022.
so like one of the,
So
yeah,
basically, if I didn't spend it in 2021, I feel.
Gotcha.
Mark
almost
did
like if you
but
don't
the
use
bill
it.
didn't come till today, that's why it didn't happen. So it'll show next year,
That you spent a little bit more,
yeah,
but
but it'll show, yeah.
But we'll actually have, it'll be recouped from last year. Okay. Are we thinking 2,000 in mileage? I mean, you did a good job cutting back. I mean, we can cut it back to 1,500 and be, okay, and be comfortable.
For mileage?
Yep. Those next
those next.
4 are
Fixed.
not fixed, but
Well,
budgeted.
Can't change.
Yeah.
Shop expenses. So what does that cover, Mac? Just the,
It depends. It's oddball bolts and stuff that we don't fill out, paper towels, toilet paper.
okay. So we've been anywhere from
Geez,
60,
That is a huge,
we've been anywhere from 6,500 to 2,100. So it matters just on how rough we are on equipment.
No, I think that's because some of the, what we call shop is now getting into.
Okay, so if we were to put 3 grand in there, would be all right? Okay. Just looking at the past 2 years. Diesel,
24? 23?
what do we have now? We're at 21.
we used $21,305 worth of diesel fuel.
We round that up to an even 25,000.
There again, that's gone up significantly. It's gone up more than that $200 or $2,000 in price.
You think that'll be the biggest one?
Yeah,
What's the number you're thinking, Matt? Do you know like what you burn for fuel? I mean, we could probably figure it out pretty quick. 21,000 divided by.
it's going to be similar to the fuel oil.
No more idling those trucks.
They have a idle restriction actually, don't they? Have you ever let them run that long? Yeah, I thought they,
When it's cold out,
oh, you didn't know, yeah, I know that. 1,500.
Tomorrow?
you don't take them out of the door.
Yeah.
And what did we figure, what are diesel prices right now, Terry? You just looked at them. The $3 one.
No,
or
they're less than
$2.79.
three, they're like 285 or something like
Highway
that.
diesel.
It was, it would have been a little cheaper in spring.
Oh, because we're a non-taxable
Right.
entity. So that's saying we burn through roughly 7,500 gallons of fuel in a year. That, and now is that both on and off-road?
That's strictly-
Just,
241
oh, that's right,
we're paying.
241.
Really?
That was heating
That
oil.
was number two. Oh,
Yeah.
two was heating.
Uh,
Eight is 276.
There you go.
276?
And it's not gonna stay there.
But it would have been cheaper last spring, I would think. So I mean, as far as total gallons.
So you're thinking that would be higher than,
Well, this is a current bill.
Probably figure 250 for an average of what the year maybe.
I- so that puts us at almost 9,000 gallons we've used in a year. So we're at 2 something now. I mean, I'm paying $3.50 at the pump for everyday fuel,
Did you say 271?
but that's
Call
a
it
non-taxable.
285.
Well,
That's what we were billed for, 25.6.
that's at 9,000 gallons.
Actually, our last, very latest was 284.
284?
That's, and that,
So
20
it's
that,
gone.
the 25,650 that I just gave you
December
is figured on 285.
Right, so what, but what she's saying is you're saying it's only gonna go up a penny over the
No,
next
I
year?
thought it was 271 was the number she first gave me.
31st. It was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Then
it's
I
gone,
lost
Then
that.
it's
I
gone
looked
up,
at the
it's
dates,
gone
so
up
it was
15 cents, 14 cents.
27, it was 278.
So do we figure it at
the
3 1/4?
31st was 284.
If we figured regular diesel, or not regular diesel, but number 2 heating oil, which is basically just, if we figured that at 3, you can figure the other stuff at 25 cents higher than that. You cleared it before you showed it to me.
Shit, 29,350.
So we've, yeah. Going off 9,000 gallons of fuel at 325 average. Will put us at just under $30,000 for fuel. Let's face it.
250, 29,250.
If it drops, we should think about pre-buying.
Yes, I think pre-buying is a good idea for this year for both.
Do they
fuel oil
budget
and,
us? Now, can we jump, can we get on one of the budgets where you pay X number of dollars a month, no matter what?
Yeah,
Well, you can, but you're still gonna have fluctuation on price.
They do, they don't lock you in like they used to for
No.
heating oil, okay. I hate
I
to
don't
say
believe
this,
they lock you in on a price, I think they just,
I hate to say this, but I think we're gonna have to go 30,000 on diesel. If it, well, I mean, it went up 15 cents in a week.
no, I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying, so I'm money.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right. Equipment gas.
you might be revisiting this.
Yeah, I hope so. So you don't use much in the way of gas,
Chainsaw.
$50 for the year? Okay. If not, take it out of the diesel allotment.
Hmm.
Salt and chloride, coal patch.
That's another one. isn't it?
We were anywhere from 27 to 19 in the past 5 years. How are the roads looking as far as coal patch goes? I mean, we've only got 2 paved roads.
Well, the thing is, you gotta pay the rent for that, as far as, we'll sure gotta take a lot of it out of there. You don't go too much gold patch.
Okay.
Yeah, the biggest expense is salt. and chloride.
Salt and chloride, prices going up, staying pretty regular. Chloride, yep.
Not only that, they're hard to get,
Salt's staying about the same right now.
but it's
Okay.
hard to get still.
Not really.
Really?
No.
That's not, I heard somebody was talking to me from,
They finally
how
came-
does it make any difference?
They finally came through with the price. Hard out.
Good, good.
So is 20,000,
Nice.
well,
That's probably what you get the weather.
right,
2 loads of salt right now. 2 loads of salt right now, we gotta get another right off, but it's just a matter of,
which is low for this time of year usually.
I would say.
Yeah,
It might be average, actually.
I mean,
What did we have in there?
21, for. I don't
You
What
already
did-
had budgeted.
what did we
Yeah.
budget? Yeah,
What did we budget for last year?
know.
would be right here, wouldn't it?
Oh,
No, didn't break it down that far.
Oh, okay, yep.
Now, there was one that did break it down, but I don't know.
No, last year we said we did this with the general budget. Next year, we're gonna do it with the road budget.
Abby
So
had
this-
one half
Right.
worked out. And salt and chloride was on it, but I don't know. where it is.
Seems to me the average of the last 4 years, if you were to go 23.5, you would probably be handy.
Yeah,
23,500 for salt and chloride. Next one's covered under
New equipment, or
the
the
equipment repair. North building, no expenses. What would that be, Mac? What would we be looking at there? Just any basic maintenance that needs to be done? Or
are you talking down at the old fire
North.
station?
North
Yes.
building, yeah.
Yeah,
As-
how do we have 0 expenses there?
This is building maintenance.
because we didn't have to do anything to it.
How soon do you think we're gonna have to, the roof's gonna have to be painted sooner or later?
This one?
The
North
building.
Station.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's getting to a point.
Yeah.
That, the building itself, we use paint down there, spray it, and we'll chip it, and really use it man door.
Mhm.
I don't know, I don't know if it was a sweeper or what it was in the summer. Double plated glass, the outside glass won't go down. Plus it's a little loose.
So on the north building, are you thinking $500? I mean, a new exterior doors, couple hundred, because we don't need anything fancy. Probably no windows would be best. Can't-
Hopefully tearing down my.
You can't-
house this summer, maybe you can have a-
There you go.
Window doesn't help us, you
And
know,
we
so.
building right there?
I
Yeah.
You
just,
got doors, windows in the.
um, and as far as the painting of the roof and the building, I wonder if we could get like, it's just more of an eyesore than anything, basically. It probably doesn't. So $500 will get us through this year and we can reevaluate in the future. Aesthetics of the building.
Oh, I could donate a green.
Chainsaw expenses green on a white and red building. Yeah, uh-huh.
Can you paint it?
Yeah, we just said we couldn't afford paint.
My grandpa painted it, I'm pretty sure.
I got plenty of paint. if you want it.
Chainsaw expenses, what are we looking
I
at
think
there?
I want
Just
it to
bars
be
and
like
chains?
this, and I don't use it.
Yeah, that's been coming out, that
That's also.
bill
new
from Jim,
equipment.
that's in there now came out of repair.
Out of the repair.
But
So could we put chainsaws into the repair? I mean, you're probably looking at a couple $100. So that one could be taken right off.
we do wanna get, well, don't wanna get, we need to get a new pole saw. 'cause it's
Pole saw.
like, but that would come out of equipment.
I think Husqvarna also runs, or Husqvarna or Steel. I think if you talk with Zell, they might run a municipality deal.
Yeah, I think Jim does too.
Jim does too. It just
Right, but I think that would come out of new equipment.
bleed orange, so.
So for you guys for the budget, you don't need to see any of the truck expenses, you just wanna see equipment repair fund, right?
Correct.
Okay. Just wanna make
Yep.
sure.
So like basically anything these guys have that gets fixed or anything that needs to happen, they bring a saw to Jim's. That's equipment repair.
Yeah, there's a
I mean,
couple
if we
of-
wanted to itemize every single one of those, we're trying to get away from that.
You got bar and chain oil.
Yeah.
Recording in progress.
Uh-uh. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Chains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You could itemize that out.
Now, would some of that though come out of your shop expense?
No.
No, that's not, okay. So do you want to leave the chainsaw expenses in there? I mean, you're talking $50 for a bar and $30
Right,
plus
I
for a
think
chain.
$100
or-
I think this time,
Yeah,
and that's good for bar and chain oil.
You-
For the year.
actually got zero
Well, it
expense.
shows up zero on there
Right.
because it's no longer,
What I'm
because it
saying
wasn't
is,
under
there's
the
a,
fund.
there's a
Right.
bill in there right now. from Jim.
Gotcha. So we could scratch that and just put everything under equipment repair. I like it.
I just wanna make sure.
Boy, we circled the horses on that one, didn't
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we? My bad.
I don't know
Gravel
where you
pit,
got the we, but.
me and Mac.
Threw you under the bus on that one.
Gravel pit expenses. Don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Why is this what is this for?
What are the expenses in the gravel pit that we see?
I would say that's probably a permit operation.
6,000 to 320?
That's the year we had to put,
All the repairs
buy
were,
trees.
it cost us to cut trees?
No,
No,
You have to
back.
buy
it costs us to
trees?
put them back.
Oh, yeah.
What?
May have cut a little too far.
So we had to replant some.
Wow.
No, we hired somebody to cut the trees for us. And
They didn't read the plan.
they got a little ambitious.
That, I'm assuming that must be the,
The fee, the permit fee.
permit.
Okay.
I don't see.
So 320?
So why was 2020's 1320 or 1350,
Well, 2019 was only 160.
right? Probably depends on what we're doing, what phase of the,
You want double bill, any of the repair work, anything?
if it was last
we-
year and we didn't
Where's the
catch it.
permits?
Get in
Just
touch
take
with an
gravel out of it?
engineer or anything? Or anything? I'm just trying to come up with possible expenses, Mac.
We didn't pay some guy to tear a building down and then he left.
Near the gate.
Oh, we didn't buy $1,000 worth of padlocks up there. That'd go under shop expenses.
State of Vermont.
Yeah, it's a fee then. Yeah, it's our,
Alright,
so,
So put
and
320 in there then.
320 again?
Yeah.
Alright. I was gonna go 500 just in case, but
Oh, okay, that's fine.
go 500. 500 there. Skinner Hill Gates, that will not be an that was an
That's
expense. Yeah, that could be scratched straight off there. Gravel pit principal and interest are set. We don't touch those. Those are not our guardrails.
How
Do we
many more of
first?
those do we have?
What's that?
The
Two.
gravel pit,
This year, next year, I believe.
and that's ours, we own
That's
it.
it, yep.
Whoop, whoop. Guardrails. Do you foresee us doing any more guardrail work? Does anybody have any spots that need guardrails?
Yeah.
You don't have enough traffic on your road. Get over it.
Waterville Mountain Road needs them.
It's 4-wheelers. They don't count. Huh?
Waterville Mountain Road needs them. God, that thing
Since the new
scares me.
ones went up?
Oh, did the new ones go up?
Yes,
There's new ones up there?
They
yes.
added another 50 feet after that first little piece of put on
Oh,
there. So it's
I
another-
went over, there was nothing. And I
Where
was
is
like,
this?
whoa.
Waterville Mountain.
This
The
is
m- the
Waterville.
mountain between here and Waterville.
Well,
Yeah.
before the road was, oh, okay.
So no,
Except, what, was that all right down here at the end?
yeah.
The 4,000 was all that? Okay,
The other was.
So 4,500 doesn't get you very far.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was-
So that,
Well,
I
I'll
feel
tell
like
you
that
what.
could be scratched then.
That was used as well. I mean, the bank.
It's one of those things where we're not gonna know we need them until somebody comes in and
Could make a fund and just let it sit there.
you could.
But I know the fire department mentioned one spot, other than that,
Do we do that here in the road budget or do we do that as a separate line item altogether? Like we have the bridge and we have the paving grant. Do we do it that way? I mean, there's no question that, you know, things need to be,
that's the first time we've used. guardrail. Like,
Excuse me.
we've got
Right.
2 or 3 other places that, that one over by the Cahill's. kind
Yeah.
of starting to look kind of raunchy, but that could be replaced with something.
well, all I'm asking is if you think we should start creating a fund, start a fund outside as a separate.
And do the same thing you do with the repair fund.
Yep.
Put 5,000 in there, if you don't need it, you don't ask for more, if you use it, you ask for more.
Okay, I like that.
Hopefully you don't ask.
So on this other part, Maria, on the big one here where we have like, bridge repair and paving grant,
Yep.
underneath that, can you add a guardrail fund?
So,
And we'll start, like Max said, if we ask for 5,000 this year and build that as a fund for, you know,
You
we're
wanna
gonna put
put that
5,000 in it, but we may not use that 5,000 this year. We may have to wait till next year and
so for all those accounts, so like the equipment repair, bridge and all that, we have separate bank accounts. Is that something that you, so I should have? a separate
if we get the $5,000, if the $5,000 gets voted through, then yes, because then it would be an interest bearing account.
Right, okay, just wanna make sure.
You
Yep.
wanna start off that high, since how we got this 10,000 coming in from the fire department.
Or, yeah, okay, that's fine with me, because we got another 10,000 on diesel.
Yeah.
So do we want to hold off on the guardrail fund? I'm fine with that. I mean, we haven't had guardrail funds for the past, what, 30 years, so
Let's wait.
okay, scratch it all together.
How did we come up with money this year for that? Did we-
I think we just kind of stole from
Just took it out of the.
$20 here, $20 here type of
Yeah.
deal.
Yep, gotcha.
Road signs. We had to put up a bunch this year, huh?
Well, I needed all new signs and stands, road signs themselves, yeah.
They've gone up and
They've gone up, but they're not, posts, we're almost out of posts, so.
so
But I would dream I could use them that much again, I would say. if you drop-
500,
Yeah.
500.
Well, we, you know, had some money to contribute because the previous years we didn't spend any.
Right. Did you get that?
No, sorry.
$500 for road signs.
Roadside
Ro-
mowing, are you guys not doing that yourselves now?
Well,
We don't know. We don't
The
know.
first couple.
the first cut we
Christmas
can,
parsnips.
yeah.
It's, yeah, the next reach back that we can't get.
So we've budgeted, by the looks of things, $3,000 for that throughout. Because what the budget, yeah, what we, what,
Should have some kind of state initiative for poisonous parsnips.
well, we did talk about that. And actually, I sent Terry a video of it, but they were doing it on a snowmobile trail where they took the sickle bar and
Mhm.
stood it up.
Right.
And you had said something about wanting to try that, and I think it's a great idea.
Dan did do some of that,
He did.
but You're not gonna get where it's going,
You're,
Okay.
you're only gonna get to the very edge of the road. You can't take that piece of equipment off the
Oh,
edge.
no, I
So-
understand that.
And that piece of equipment
So-
won't stand up to long-term use like that.
No, so should we budget $3,000 and look for another bid?
So, her husband does that.
For, his name's Kirk Roberge, and Kirk does like Waterville, Jericho, Underhill area.
He does the
And it has
extendable?
like yeah, his extendable and everything.
Well, how come you did not bid last year when we
It's
sent
just
out
like
the
the
open bid?
state, he has one just like the state does.
How come you
He
didn't
used
bid
to wave
last
to me
year?
all the time and
How
I couldn't
come?
figure out who
He
it
won't
was.
do it for 3,000.
Can you,
Unsolicited bids.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's father.
Maria, can you, I'm assuming BJ can reach out to this guy. Could you ask him what he charges per mile? And we can build a budget off of,
You know, like budget 3,000.
Even if we- yeah.
Whatever 3,000 we're doing this year.
He works for us.
It's better than,
You don't have to
better than
do
nothing.
the same
yeah,
one.
no, I definitely think if we were to do 3,000,
We don't have to decide it tonight. Let her get an answer for us.
Right.
right, but if we figure out what
Then we
he is
can
per
come
mile,
back.
then we'd know what we could do.
Yeah.
Like Max saying, even if we couldn't do all the roads, hog them back, we could do $3,000 worth, and then the following year do 3,000.
If it takes you 4 years to cycle through it, you're still not.
I'm
gonna have-
right.
BJ may even know off the top of his head. I just texted him.
Okay.
so.
We'll
How
put
many miles of road are we talking?
40,
Give to him.
40 something, right?
Well,
Not all of it
wouldn't be
needs
that
this.
much.
Well, yeah, but you got two sides.
We get technical with us.
I'm not, I'm just, sorry, math, dude.
No,
It'd have to be
You could
scheduled
give
for
him
road
that for a
work.
figure.
True.
It'd be about 40 miles of road
About 40
and
miles.
see what he'd give
It
for
wouldn't
a
have to be all
quote.
done in 1 year, like I say, if we did a quarter of it, a quarter of it, a quarter of it, a quarter of it, and then go back to the same quarter.
Put it on a rotation
But it'd be nice to do it once all.
and then start a
And then
rotation.
start doing it that that way, because right now we got a lot of complaints on
Just
that.
that $3,000 is just a drop in the bucket as to what it's gonna cost to have it all done.
I know our road gets pretty dangerous because how.
Oh, I
how
agree.
wide it is.
I agree, but how much are we
Well,
willing
even,
to
Yeah.
spend?
even coming out by your pump house there, down by the,
Let's
Yeah,
get the
well,
figure and
maybe
then
it's
we'll
Gabe's.
decide on that.
beyond
The
the,
golf course.
Cause the
Yeah.
problem
Yeah,
is
that's
now
nice.
That's
we've
yours. I
let
couldn't
it go,
remember.
we can't, we
And
gotta
it's
get it.
ridiculous.
At the very least, we
And
can
once
choose a
once
section.
you bite that off, then you can start doing like he's saying, you might not have to go.
Or pick your worst spots.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
did our roads, I
Just
maybe
equipment.
yeah, it could be worth it. Well, that was one of the things we had talked about. We've got those sealed bids too.
Okay.
We gotta,
It was our
Um,
property, but, you know.
chipper expense has been moved to the other one. Screener expense has been moved to the other one. Stormwater operating fee, is that a state? That's a state thing. So we don't, that one's set for us by the state. Pressure washer expenses will go into equipment
Wait, can we
repair.
go back to, you said screener expense is.
Screener,
just
Just on
in
the equipment repair fund.
Right.
Okay.
yep.
And the pressure washer.
Same with basically anything that says
And
expense,
tractor and snow blowers as well.
correct. Pressure washer
What's this
expenses.
storm water? Oh,
It's a
Yeah.
state fee.
yeah. Yeah.
Culverts, did we stock up?
Pressure washer goes under equipment. Come on.
So how much do you spend typically in a year? 5,000?
I mean, it depends upon,
Depends on what falls apart and what needs to be replaced. Is 5,000 a number that you could operate within?
yes, because
Okay.
you have quite a few down there right now.
Okay. Miscellaneous. I kind of feel like miscellaneous and shop expense could be tied together. Okay,
Yeah,
So let's-
I think cut.
yeah, let's cut out miscellaneous.
Unless that's something to do like maybe with checks for. She does bill in,
It goes from 5, wow, yeah.
but yeah,
I think because we started covering some of it in shop expenses and some of it in, because I think at one time you were like, well, miscellaneous, if we need 2 gallons of gas for the chainsaw, we just throw that in there. Now we've changed that to, I mean, ideally, we do get rid of some of these items. That's kind of how this is. Loan principal and
Sorry,
loan
what did you say
interest.
was
Oops, scratched it.
zero?
Yep. Delete it right out.
And I don't know what this loan
There's his
principal
rates right
and
there.
loan interest was.
Loan principal and loan interest.
What,
Um,
didn't even
it-
say what
It looks like we've paid something off 4 years ago and it hasn't been
Did we have
taken
a
off.
truck?
We have, but the trucks are their own thing.
We have an old truck.
Principal.
Those are his rates.
That's roadside.
It's gonna be harder to figure out because he's charging by the hour.
Did
So-
we have to, we didn't buy that old fire station, did we?
No, they gifted it to us. They gifted it to the town.
So we can just get rid of that.
So
I can't
so
remember what that
Did
was
BJ
for.
send you this?
Yes,
Can you ask him how fast does he mow?
it's pretty slow.
It
It's
is
pretty, it's pretty dependent on how bad the road is too.
Yeah, so, and I think this goes back to one of the first things you said, Mac, if we were to put $3,000 in there with the rates, I'm sorry, Brenda, I didn't show you those rates.
That's okay.
I can pass it back
I'm
around.
sorry,
What was rate still up?
72 to 95, depending on which one per hour.
So it
Um,
depends, yeah, if you want a wood stitch bank mower, it's $80 per hour.
Yep.
If you want a rear mount boom mower, which has the big boom on the side, it's $95 an hour.
So if you were to have two of those, if you were to have both of those machines, one running in front of the other, just like they do on the state roads, you're looking at $160 an hour
Hmm.
for the close stuff. Use the boom
When
mower.
Raymond used to do it with his nephew's tractor, with this mower, he used to have 2 50-hour weeks to mow the whole town, and then he did 2-3 passes. whatever.
So 100 hours could do the whole town with that mower that we had down here, roughly.
Roughly.
So you're talking 7,000.
Now, some of that time was also sharpening blades and stuff like that, so, but, yeah.
But that,
There's
that's not
some-
something that we would pay for. That would be under his own thing, but,
Right.
so if we were to put, we've been paying $3,000 on a budget.
Give him a 40-hour week.
was, so 40 times, what'd you say the most expensive one was, Maria?
95.
Say $100.
They run, rain-
3,800.
they run
So-
rain or shine, right? I mean, it doesn't matter.
So if we were to put in $4,000 into that and say we were gonna do a 3-year rotation, we could have all the roads mowed back, hogged back in real good shape in 3 years.
Well, we'll be able to know how many years it's gonna take after the first year,
Right,
because we'll know how much you can get done in that period.
so I say $4,000. It's only 1,000 more than we were paying for,
It might go up a little bit if fuel goes up.
no, it's unacceptable.
Who said that, BJ?
No, I'm just looking, it's 2021.
So yeah, I say 4,000,
Nope, too bad, he already showed us. the
or do
rates.
we wanna just go to 5? I don't
Yeah,
know.
put 4 in
Okay,
and go from there.
$4,000, Maria,
It's
for
better than what
roadside
we
mowing.
We had nothing last year.
Mhm.
And if he
then
sees it
we
in the
had all
paper,
kinds of
or
Facebook.
if we say, hey,
so-
put it in the paper,
Well,
make sure
And
he
this
gets
is,
it.
and this,
Yep,
you're gonna still do the other piece.
yeah, he'll do
before
the, he'll do
you
the
guys
close
come
stuff.
on, Right?
We'll do that, they'll do that, and, you know, what they can't get to, I mean, worst places, we can cut brush, that's not a problem. That's what we usually do, it usually works better if we can cut it ahead of them, because if you get stuff like that, it just,
Really, really
It's
dings the
ugly.
mower.
it does, yeah, it's gonna take them longer to do it that way, and
it looks ugly.
So loan, principal and interest, did we decide what that went to?
I
got
cannot
rid of
remember
it.
what that
Okay,
is.
cross
We
both of
think
them
we
right up.
Probably paid it off and,
That's what it looks like. We paid it off about 4 years ago.
yeah.
Sand, gravel and stone, we ran anywhere from 6 to 3. We haven't
Zero.
had any in the past couple of years. That doesn't seem right. I feel like
That's from, did you get it from the gravel pit, right?
we got it, well,
last year we
not
got
the
some
crusher.
from each during mud season. So I'm assuming that may be the 9,000, maybe,
in ditch and drain supplies.
might be all grouped together.
Okay, so sand and gravel. If we were to put $4,000 in there, because we know there's places where we're gonna need to get crushed gravel or crushed stone,
We'll either that or leave that in.
Or just lump them all
That's-
together.
or
already in
lump the
there.
2.
Yeah, I would just.
The 9,000 he's saying is that.
Okay, so we're gonna lump the 2 and put a budget of what, 7,500
Okay.
What would you guys like that called?
aggregate.
Mm-hmm.
7,500?
Correct. That was what I said. I mean,
Yeah,
Aggregate.
I don't think we've thrown anything
Huh?
at it.
You're gonna know what it is if we just say aggregate.
Well,
Stone.
it goes from anything from foot minus
The
to
next couple weeks.
3/4
yes.
minus crushed stones,
Yeah.
so.
Well, remember the next couple weeks after that.
Well,
No
no, I mean,
promises.
aggregate is
Would
what it's
you-
That's what
called.
it's called.
Yeah,
Would you
like-
put your cedar expenses underneath that, or your grass mat stuff under there? Just curious.
yeah, I had to go and ask questions. No, that's what,
Because if we get the cedar, I haven't never heard that in that long either. I assume that they-
That was in time. We had,
Yeah, she was pretty sure we were gonna get it, so I mean, that would be an expense we have to figure on this.
speaking of which, is matching funds, $1,500 matching funds on that.
which I think would come right out of that, right?
That would come out of ditch supplies?
That could, the matching fund could come out of new equipment.
Yeah.
That's new equipment,
Yeah.
because we have to pay for it up front and then they reimburse us.
Okay.
But that-
Didn't
that
answer
would
my
be-
question.
That would be the only thing. Like,
So-
green stuff that they put in it, and you see, I think they put fertilizer, that would be an extra expense.
So the tan
I don't
loan,
know what it is.
tan principal and tan interest are set for us. We don't, so you'll get those numbers. Bridge account loan. What is that? 'Cause we took a loan from the bridge account to buy something, pay something, one time. Yeah, it looks that way.
That goes back to when we used to borrow from Paul.
So that is no longer allowed.
No, we wouldn't have done that in 2020 though.
I think we might have.
Did you do it in 19 and pay it back in 20?
That's possible.
We had to pay for that gravel somewhere. Or pay for all that.
I think we can
Over
strike
time and-
bridge account loan. I think that's a one-time thing that if it happens again, we would have to go
Ran
through the
out
tan
before we're
loan.
done, remember.
What can?
I think you might be right.
Ah, crap.
So we don't need anything there. for
TAN
this time.
stands for
Tax anticipation note.
basically what we operate on until taxes come in.
Exactly.
FEMA is set, not something that we have control over. And the York rate goes into the repair fund.
What is the York rate?
It's a big orange
No, I
spring.
know what it is, but is it something we own?
Yeah,
Okay,
You got new teeth for it this year, right?
that should probably say, just, can you edit what that says and make it York rate
Well, that'll be in-
expense?
that'll
That's
be
gonna
in-
be a quick-
Or it'll go in equipment repair, yeah.
It's highlighted. It goes, comes in a hit.
Yeah, I know.
Right, what do you
Well-
want to say, York? Creek?
Well, the same as the other ones, expense,
Oh,
because that's, I mean, we didn't buy the York rate, we just, well, just trying to
I
make
could use
everything.
that.
What's that? You want to use it? I don't think you got car enough to pull it.
That's a big one.
I thought, doesn't Lindsay have one?
Hmm?
Does he?
I think so.
Oh,
Maybe down the gravel pit, I don't know. Or not the gravel pit, but the farm. Insurance and telephone line repair.
yeah, what is that?
No idea.
Again, it
Well,
looks
that
like,
goes- I think that goes back to the,
oh, when you broke the telephone line up at his house.
well, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's a one-time fee when
And that,
Mac runs the backhoe.
This is why we can't have a backhoe.
This is why we can't have anything nice, Mac. It was Mark. He
No
threw
way.
him, threw him right under the bus.
Completely exposed. Had it all dug out by hand, and Mark says, you can just knock the top off, the tooth hit it. After calling Diggs, of course.
shouldn't that be covered by our insurance?
That's why it says insurance. It says
slash
insurance.
telephone line
I think
repair.
that's what it
We
was.
probably
Oh,
have
yeah, I'm
a
sorry.
$1,000 deductible.
Exactly.
He
Yeah,
did it 2
yeah.
years in a row.
Oh.
Yep.
Same telephone.
So we can cross that one off. We can delete that one.
It only hit the one time.
We're not budgeting
We
for,
may hit it again.
Okay, I got satellite now.
he's got satellite, he's good.
That's only an emergency, when power's out.
We're gonna have to make Marky the shovel operator.
No, it was right there. I mean, the straightest edge,
Oh.
just one more.
That's too much fun.
That one more always gets you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like one more
Yeah.
bucket, it always got me so many times, like one more bucket.
It's like my keys. They're always in the last place I look for
Or
'em.
one more nail that slips the board.
You don't want me to be on that.
What's the
anyway.
contract labor and equipment rental? Do you guys usually budget that or?
I don't see that one. Where are we looking?
Where do you see it?
It's at the top,
Top where?
Page one,
on page one, right underneath.
just above.
Oh, yeah,
Salaries.
contracted, I see, you know, we skipped over that. I'm assuming that is for the, like the 7,500, that's the money that we spent to rent the excavator. Contracted labor and rental, depending on what way we go with that. Cause as we talked, Mac, it may be cheaper to, or not cheaper, it may be quicker to contract out some of the not grading, some of the ditching and excavating. So we can leave that as it is titled. What would be a number you'd be
Depends if we
sufficient?
should buy a piece of equipment or not, that we could reduce that, but,
That would be the best thing if we could have a little bit left over from our boys at Team, if they ever pay us.
Okay,
That would be.
well, not betting on the government to give us extra money, what would be a good
I'm
number?
not saying extra, I'm
No,
saying-
or any, I mean, what would be a good number there? I mean,
10,000.
10,000?
voluntary.
Yeah, is she okay?
What?
Somebody check her.
Well, because I didn't want him to say 20.
Oh,
Oh, that was, yeah,
so does that cover everything under the road?
That's only like 2 months of,
Can you give us a
Wow, that
quick
damn- We've
No, you
we've
can't.
rented a lot of
No,
equipment
you
that
can't,
we
can
haven't
you?
been
2 weeks.
reimbursed
Give
for
me a
yet.
quick one.
Well, there's
So some
like,
of this-
there's other numbers that are set that we can't.
Yeah,
Back on those high numbers.
So do we put a number in there?
We're gonna get reimbursed from FEMA.
Or
so,
how would
If
we,
we ever fucking get paid, because a lot of that was equipment that we rented to do the quick road repairs at the end of 19. And to put culverts
Because
in
isn't it
2020.
like 4,500 a week
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
to rent that?
And we
month.
took it,
That's
we
for
had
a
it
month.
for, we had it for 2
stormwater
months this year.
operating fee, would
So
that be
this
the
would
same?
get you 2 months.
stormwater operating fee? No,
The
that
10,000,
If
is,
yeah.
they keep it at
that's
the
a,
same rate.
that's a
He's been pretty accurate.
government, that's a
Just go
state.
with it.
So
Fee
since this is
for
an
the pit.
internal budget,
But it didn't know if it was the same every year.
I'm not
this is an
sure.
internal budget.
Mac,
This
you'd
isn't
be able-
voted on
The
budget.
stormwater operating fee, is that the same
If
every
we
year?
go- Get to the point.
It's
where
the
we
first
can
year
buy
I've seen
piece
it.
of equipment, and we haven't spent all of it, we can utilize some of that money, put toward the new piece of equipment.
It is,
Right.
okay, so that's 1350.
So we can
So-
put that right in there? So as
Just
far as
saying,
like
maybe.
the other stuff, like,
The telephone,
well, if we
It's
start right back
possible
at the
that if we
beginning,
don't
if we were to
utilize
put,
it all and we buy a piece of equipment, that some of that $10,000 could go towards a new piece of equipment.
correct,
You could
So-
add it all together and maybe,
we're gonna try to swing back to the beginning and see if there's any of these that we can fill in the holes with her looking up the previous years. So, for example, the telephone, Brenda's gonna look into that. But if we put a number of 750 there, are we
Yeah, I
comfortable
think- I think we just need to figure out why it's gone
why it
to
went up that 150
that
bucks?
I can plug in
I don't know
this
if
year
it's
and
because,
just
did they consider it a business?
She, there was a phone bill today that she says, I'm not paying because it was only 49 cents because it got paid before.
Oh,
And
did
the
we
check
have a
got-
bunch of back fees?
We had a bunch of.
Yeah,
things, and the check got misplaced and I think.
oh, was that one of those?
it was. Remember, cause we,
That's right.
remember you looked at a couple of them, Terry, and you were like, why are we getting charged a fee for?
We were, we got some late fees on a couple of those.
Right, plus I think some of it might have got paid twice by the bill that we got today. I think that's what that was 49 cents she said for consolidated.
So if we put 750 in there,
Yeah, cause she had one here for the office for 116 that she has in here.
The office got screwed up the same time too.
Mhm.
We couldn't take our tail out of the bill.
awesome.
I do remember that now.
So I'm just gonna plug in like the social security, all that stuff that we had
Harry
for
told me
this
to
past
just
year.
say it.
Yes. Well, like, it looks like social security has gone up about 500 bucks on a pretty steady increase, 1,000 that year,
That's gonna,
100 bucks that year, so it averages out to about 500 bucks. So if we were to put that at 13,000. Health insurance, we heard, went down, so if we were to put the same number in again of 36,000,
disability's been right around the same.
yep, disability has. I would put probably 300 in there just because it seems to bounce between 4 and 250. Simple IRA has been,
Couple
it's
$100.
consistently up. I think you could put 4,500 there and be, or sorry,
5 grand.
or 5,200 and be safe. Right,
That's dependent on.
how much they
wages though,
weigh.
right?
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
it's 3% of it gross.
Gravel pit, do you want me to
3%?
just put what we had for last year?
Well, the gravel pit is set. They should have sent you,
I probably have some.
The principal goes down, excuse me, the principal goes up, interest goes down, but the total is the same.
yes. Yeah, it looks to be about 40,000.
It is.
Can't believe that's almost paid for.
So if we just said like.
Getting there.
What's the difference?
Let's get rid of some of that. Then we can look at.
It'll make upgrading equipment a lot
We
easier.
talked about it. we could, I know an interested party, but the party would pay market value for the other property.
Well,
I don't think we should do that.
tell.
I'm just saying, I'm not for or against, I'm just saying.
I'm not looking
She
to
was
sell it,
asking
I'm
about-
looking to get rid of the payment, not sell them.
You just have to hope
Gravel
that's the
pit.
right kind of rock underneath there.
Oh, no, not the gravel pit,
That's
but there's
right.
areas above it that
That's the
are
right kind
good
of
for
rock.
Yeah,
it.
that's
Some
where
of it's almost
our town
ledge.
rec was
You're
going.
taking out a permit.
We can. That's a,
You'd have to
That's
get a-
possible.
Swimming
you'd have to
pool
get a
and
permit, and you'd be-
ice rink.
Don't get me started.
Newest colony, Georgia or Milton.
Sheldon?
Milton.
Gotta love
Sheldon
it then.
closed.
Oh, they did?
They're
I
sitting
figured
in
you would know,
operation
wouldn't you?
now.
Motion to adjourn.
Milton is still alive.
So
See, Gary's right up.
does this, so let's jump to this other page. The town budget worksheet. So Maria, can you give us a rough number on what we just set for a budget?
Yeah, 1 second.
No worries. I only asked because I know you can. Well, she's using Excel. No, this would be just the road expenses.
Well, there's something
Not
about the
including
library
salaries.
and Maple Grove.
But we're keeping the gravel pit fund, excuse me, the paving and gravel fund.
Those are separate.
Yeah, but they're on this list, but
So you're just
we're
looking
keeping
for
them
her
the
to
same.
fill in winter work, dirt work, road work.
Actually, winter work and dirt work combined for road work now.
Correct.
So that's one number.
You paid the tan loan off,
Well,
right?
You should have been paid off, yes.
Yeah. But is that something that we're gonna have every year?
yes.
Yes.
So should I just put what we had last year in there?
Tan loan.
So that's
You're
gonna
looking-
depend
It's
on what number you
probably
come
a
up
fair
with.
guess. Since we're working on fiscal year 22 and everybody else in the world is on fiscal year 23, we don't have the money to pay 22's debts off yet.
And I just put 0 for FEMA,
Correct, because,
because we're supposed to be getting money for it.
yeah, we shouldn't have any more fees there.
So.
That is not true.
Okay.
Okay.
We still have the bridge project, and we have not been billed for a significant part of the bridge project, the Goat Path Bridge. We're also supposed to have that money in our hands. It is possible that if they drag their ever-loving behinds and we don't get paid, we might, and that eventuality is covered through the bank. We have a FEMA loan, remember, we just signed it, okay? We can borrow against that. So we have the money on hold in the bank in case we need it. I don't foresee that we have to budget
Budgeted. Okay.
any amount.
So with everything that we've budgeted without wages, but we're including social security, do you want me to throw wages in there too from this year? Figure that out?
If you put this year's wages in,
It's a rough.
it gives us a
It'll be
rough,
close.
Is there plugins on
yeah.
With an extension cord.
That orange one over by the freezer.
Right here, right,
Orange one right there.
on the floor.
No.
Hello? Hello? Yep, yep. Right.
Didn't reach that one.
it?
Wow.
Well, she's gonna have that in with all
Oh,
I gotta go. I shouldn't be sitting here. Yeah, right?
it's so everywhere.
you, Dawn?
Yeah,
None of
my
us are gonna escape it. I mean,
kid
let's,
just got a positive test.
pick up again on,
Yeah, I'm wearing this.
gonna pick up again on,
One of us is
on
smart.
next week.
Well, I mean, if she can get us that number, we can at least get the dirt work part done, right?
I mean, it isn't gonna hurt for you to sit here and.
We're already.
I was gonna say,
exposed.
these next, the
I got
next,
power.
the next 20 minutes aren't gonna make a difference
I
after the
bet.
last hour and a half.
Just remind me not to kiss you goodbye
I
today.
don't have a-
I got a new one in the truck. If you want. I got a box of them.
So actually, rap guys can make it, so they still stay home.
So my kid, like, no symptoms at all.
She made it.
And he was bouncing around like a freaking jelly bean when I was left.
Neither did Eli. When Tiffany's whole family, Eli, Allie, and Carter hardly had anything. Eli had nothing. Seth says it's because he rocks a mullet. The mullet kills
I like that.
There was him and Callie's fiance. Neither one of them had any symptoms.
Who's got COVID?
Josh's little boy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Doesn't do any good. I don't know why the hell it bothers.
And I stayed home last night, I had a cold. Here.
Saw Holly at the Cambridge Pharmacy there, right? He looks good.
In Kinney's?
Yeah, she looks good.
Yes, because Walgreens has no,
I was, there,
Walgreens has no pharmacy.
yeah, they're trading.
Did they have one in Munisburg or St. Albans had nothing?
My wife went to pick up, she needed to wait 15 minutes. She said there was one girl there, she was on the phone the whole time doing it.
Yeah,
My mother was beside herself because one of the prescriptions that she's on, you can't,
So the total that I have, the total is $486,481.99.
Oh, for total road work.
For total road work.
I think that's because of tan though.
Yes, that includes TAN.
Take the tan out.
Would be all right.
Nope,
You want my pen?
I don't know, I got it.
the tan is a line of credit.
That'll be smart.
Can you say that number again?
And it's,
I'll tell you, I did the right one.
Okay. never mind.
okay, that's better.
383,159.36.
83, 159, 86.
86.
It's still
And
103,000.
that's up from what, from last?
300.
300 even,
300,000?
yes.
Well, holy crap, let's get those pencils back out.
Wait, usually we're up 300,000 from last year?
No.
83,000.
Gotcha. But we did spend almost.
You added like roadside mowing.
We didn't have 83,000.
So,
What are we comparing
so
to?
83,000 is what we're up? No.
Yes.
Yeah, but we didn't raise the budget that much.
Well, when 20 was just the fire department and the diesel.
Yeah, but the fire department's not this.
No, fire department was 10.
Yeah, but the fire department isn't
Oh,
this
right,
budget.
It is not right.
Okay, hang on.
This thing we took out of, we already basically had,
So what we had,
we added 9,000 for diesel fuel.
All right, I guess we're dropping contracting labor to 8,000. Right there.
Something's funky here.
Something's funky, you only added $2,000 for salt and chloride. That's, James, North building expense was 500 where it was 0.
So our salary number is the same, Maria? 167, 58, 22, 588, 22, 20, wow.
Yeah.
Actually, you could minus the 150 out of that for Josh.
Yeah.
We aren't hiring him again.
I'm not so sure that makes a big difference though.
That 150, woo, watch out.
I mean, if I was the 83,000, I'd be like, yeah, subtract that son of a bitch, right?
So wages, yep, is 167.58.
And then-
588.28.
Okay, and then 10,000.
10,000. And then I have 206. 571.08. For all the other expenses.
That's without state aid.
Hang on a
Yeah,
minute.
that's
Does
not-
that,
that's not
does
including
that,
any
in
receipts.
does that include all of the equipment expense? Because that's gonna be taken out of this unit. That's gonna be separate.
Yep, that's including the
Okay.
repair cost.
Take the repair fund out, because that's a separate unit. Right? That's, That's
25,600.
right. That shouldn't be in that budget.
So it's 358, 409, 36.
Okay. And we
58,
know,
that's better.
and we know that we raised it 10,000.
409, 36.
Yeah, that's. That's in line with my thinking.
Make sure my Excel isn't being crazy.
If that's your total budget and your state aid's not figured in there, 80 some odd thousand, almost $90,000 from them. We're planning on spending 358. Your budget set 300 and state aid kicks in.
That-
Because what did we spend
that-
last year total?
That might have been how we did it, because we spent 396.84 last year, or 846.
That's because there's your state aid is in there to break even on it.
Yeah, because technically we were only, not only, but you were over budget by $3,000. 3,800. And even then, you weren't really over budget by 3,800 because all of the highlighted stuff came out of the equipment repair fund.
So it's 332, 808, 36 without the equipment. 808, 36.
Say that again, sorry.
332,
That's it,
332.
because you've got
809.
9,000 people.
36.
Yep.
More from,
Last year, that's what the budget amounted to. That's what we budgeted.
a little bit more. for
Okay.
Sit how you sell it, fuel costs went up, sorry.
93.
And we asked
You like the
for,
roads?
we asked the townspeople for $300,000.
Yep,
Cricket.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I just did it all on my
This is
calculator.
what we asked for
and
last
added
year.
up to that.
And it was approved, but that's what we asked. So that's,
So we're not, far- we're,
Not far.
we're right where we need to be if you figure in diesel,
Ballpark, yep.
fuel expenses.
yeah,
Fuel and electricity went out.
Yep. We upped contracted expenses by a couple grand. I mean, if we up everything by just that little bit of cost of living. Yep.
well, wages will go up a little bit. Not enough to make any major changes on the,
So the final number after removing the,
The repair and the can,
yep,
it's 332, 809, 36.
and I think last year, I think you're right, Mac, I think we,
Okay, state aid.
we banked on state aid for a certain amount of money. So if we're 332, I think if we were to put 3.25 as the budget, we would be okay.
What's not wrong with the state aid, but I think that's.
Well, it's right here. I mean, we got 93,000 last year, 113,000.
That's copper.
Basically, mileage, right? Basically, mileage.
yeah,
Yeah,
93,007.
yeah.
So we know that number. We know that
Well, we
money's
don't-
coming.
We don't know what the new number for mileage is yet, but.
Well, if it raises with inflation, then we should be good.
Well, it went down last year, well, the year before they gave us that check instead of.
Yeah, it's got a little money there.
Okay.
But yeah, it usually stays right at 24, somewhere. around there.
So we know that we need 332 to operate. If we count on that number from state aid, which looks pretty solid, I mean,
This is our dirt work.
this
right?
is, no, this is
All
both. This is all road work.
This is all road.
Yeah.
See how it
I thought you said it
started a new
wasn't.
column right here.
Okay.
We used to break it down into two, now we just have one. It comes back to just,
Road work,
Road
okay,
work.
yeah.
I propose we ruminate on that.
Yes,
So we're
we
thinking
still have
of
wages.
asking for 325.
Discuss that one next meeting. Or
Yeah, we'll have to,
it's
because we
gonna
still
come up
have to
pretty
discuss
quick.
wages
Right.
across the
It's gotta
board.
be- It's gotta be pretty quick.
Well, I think our next meeting is the 17th,
Mhm.
correct? 19th.
19, yep. 4 to
I think we have some great numbers.
And we have to have our decisions by the 24th. We have a basic budget to turn in.
Correct. We have to have everything, all of our motions, whether it be all that stuff to Kathy no later than the 28th was the date she gave me.
19th is 4 to 6, right?
Yes, I believe so. And you will make this look pretty like you did the other one?
Yep.
Sweet. And bring that to us at the
Yeah,
next.
alphabetical.
January 19th is what-
Yeah, I'll have a phone number.
When are we meeting with the road chief?
I think we will have to do that. I think we'll have to do that on the 19th. I think that'll have to be our wages.
Not till the 19th.
Well, yeah, because that's our next
Unless you
scheduled
wanna have
meeting.
another- Slip in another meeting. Which I can do.
Almost, we'll make a motion.
I think, what time is that meeting scheduled for? Because we haven't warned it
4
as
to
anything,
6.
right?
4 to 6.
4 to 6. If we could take the first hour as executive for reasons of discussing personnel wages, and then if you and the boys can discuss what you're thinking on your end, and then be here for 5. That'll give us, right? No, 4:30.
4:30.
Let's go 4:45, because I highly doubt if everybody's here at 4, we probably won't get started until a little after. But that'll give us time to discuss where we think we're at. And
Well, I
then,
mean, are you guys prepared at all now?
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time since we got in it that way.
So maybe we could do it tomorrow night. And then the 19th, we could.
is tomorrow night warned as budget information?
It's budget discussion.
Okay, can we,
I won't be here tomorrow.
But it's not one of the.
we don't have it warned as executive. So you,
You have to warn it as
I
executive?
think we do. Because otherwise it's open. And that's one of the,
Brenda, you would know that.
I talked about that with Josh. If we're gonna be discussing personnel issues, it should be warned. Does it have to be warned? No, but we have to keep good
Okay.
notes on why we went into executive session
Right.
and what didn't happen
Yep.
after we come out. So you have.
She is right. Technically,
can
it does
call.
not
Okay.
have to be.
All right.
warned.
No,
I
it
just-
doesn't have to be warned.
I
You
just
can-
figured if we knew what we're gonna discuss, then we could warn it
You
for the
just can't
19th.
go into
But,
executive session for willy-nilly.
so you have,
But if you're
you
going-
know what you have for information. Are you going to, is all parties gonna be present, or will you be here representing? It's up to you, it's up to you guys.
I think they'd rather be here.
Okay, perfect. So I guess tomorrow, we'll probably try to put you guys through first thing.
Well, you've got Larry Jarvis first thing with the ambulance.
Okay.
on Zoom.
7:30? Or could they both be
You've
here for
also
7?
got- Speaking of that, what is the ambulance per capita for Enosburg?
30, some 32 something.
It's more than that. Oh, no, you're right. It was,
That was 36.
Maybe.
it was in the 30s.
That's what I thought too. That's.
Show me something else.
Also, Carolyn Braun, DCC,
I thought we limited the number of people and
she's been booked for weeks.
That one actually will
What's
go
the
quick.
BCC?
Conservation Commission.
Conservation Commission.
Oh,
B, not B.
Would,
Just leave it for the 19th.
From the top, yeah, it's $37 per capita.
so maybe.
Yeah.
maybe
32.
those two things with men,
you were right,
executive
Josh.
session.
32.
32?
32.
Carolyn will actually go pretty quickly. I know what the underlying issue is. Lance and I have already discussed it, so.
What? I'm sorry.
That,
BCC.
ECC is going to talk about the proposals for the town floor.
Okay, so let's,
So
yeah,
that'll go-
let's stick
that-
with the
like I said,
19th.
that'll go.
Stick with the
I can't
19th,
hear.
Well,
that,
how
I'm
long do we
sorry.
have before budget?
Background
What do you
and
think?
24th,
Oh, okay, so we could put another meeting in if we had to.
if we had to.
Okay.
I think the budget right now, as it stands with these numbers that we put in, is pretty close.
We can make it
We don't
work.
have much else to put in there, really.
We can make it work.
We just gotta get the insurance piece.
Right.
Because they think that's changed.
Yeah. we're back
So,
to do that
yeah.
tomorrow.
As I say, I just put question marks next to the things I figured.
Yeah, I wrote down what ones I had to look into.
Yep, there was quite a few of them on that one, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you remember right, we inflated last year's budget to cover a few more expenses too.
Yes. Executive session 4 to 5. Or,
I wouldn't put a time frame.
no, I was gonna say,
I would just,
but, yeah. Yeah, executive to start the meeting, 4 until closed. And that'll be to discuss personnel and, okay. Public after, when we open it up. Yeah, we can't put a time on it because we don't know how long negotiations will take.
I'm not leaving it.
Motion to adjourn. Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
Brenda,
I motion.
this is just planning. We can do that without recording everything. All those in favor?
Aye.
You're all set there, sir. Put us, yep, put an end to us.
And Josh, good luck with your situation.
If